Hey guy, what's up? We're with Tomislav, with Pee-wee in a transmission in 3 continents, doing the premiere of From the Streets to the Pitch, the first street football podcast, right, Pee-wee? Or has been something similar?
Mm, for the streets, not in my know, not that I know of, man.
Cool, that's cool. Yeah, we're united in 3 continents: Europe, Australia, and United States. Has been like a long time talking with these two. We have some plans. Tell me, what about you? How you feel about this thing going on?
Oh, well, this is good. Like street football needed something new, something like a wave to make it a big sport. And we've always had plans, us three. So I think it's really cool that we're actually here doing this, talking street football, and the people that love the sport can watch every day, can learn a lot, and we'll grow the sport. So I'm really excited about this. It's a cool thing.
Cool. The idea is like we're gonna talk about like a lot of things. We're gonna invite some street football players. We're gonna talk about what is hot products out there and what's the plan of the people that is involved in the scene. What else you can add, Pee-wee?
No, I think just give our how do you say it, our backgrounds. Like everybody has a story, and I think it's good for people to listen to, because it could inspire somebody else that might be the next pioneer or the next influencer. So I think it's good to do this for them.
Yeah, we were talking with Tomislav yesterday that maybe street football is stronger than ever, right? We have these tools with this opportunity to connect. And yeah, for me, it's crazy as well. Like now we're in 3 different countries, united by the power of the ball. So that's fantastic. That's magic for me.
Yeah, man, I agree. And I feel like after all these years, like I just want to see it grow even more. I think it'll be as big as skateboarding.
Yeah, we're gonna take it. How we linked up, guys? I think that the first one that I took of you was with Tomislav. How would that happen, man? How the magic start?
Actually, I think we have to thank Daniel Wood for that. I remember he started the WSSF or something like that, World Street Football Association, something like that. And he had a meeting and it was posted on Instagram. And I remember I said to him, don't forget about Sydney. Like, we don't have representation. And he said, okay. We talked a bit. He threw me in on this idea. And, you sent an email to the whole group, Gabriel, and, not much was happening. So I said to him, hey, man, can I take control because nothing's working? And he said, you know what? Work with Gabriel. And that's how it all happened. We started talking. It was about a year ago, I think. So it was pretty cool. And we worked well together so far. So clearly we're doing this now. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that Pee-wee was in that meeting. I was invited as well, but with short notice, so I couldn't make it. It was in Amsterdam. I remember that Pee-wee was live there.
Yeah, man, it was huge. It was like at least I want to say 10 countries represented. I think it was a good amount of guys, man. Most of them, you see these guys in YouTube and Instagram and everything, but it was just good to have everybody in one place, man. And it was a very interesting conversation, to say the least.
Yeah, actually, I remember from there, like, thanks to my friend Daniel as well, is the common point here that we have. Yeah, as far as I remember, the 3 versus 3, he recommended to start doing something. I'm from Barcelona. I work here in Spain. And he also recommended with Tomislav. And since there, we have been dropping some ideas that we're going to be happy to tell you in the next episodes as well, or what's coming. Finally, this is the first project that is the podcast From the Streets to the Pitch. Cool. How your lives are looking? Coronavirus. How you handle it? How you manage it?
Sorry, man. You broke up, but what did you ask? Sorry, my internet's awful. Can you say it again?
No worries. Yeah, let's start from here. Like, how your lives are looking now with the coronavirus, man? Like, how you dealing with it? What you doing at home? How is it?
There's not much you can do. We're street footballers. We like to play, street football, but we can't. We're in lockdown, so it's pretty shit. If I'm honest, it's really boring, and all we can do is this type of podcast. So, and play video games, which gets boring after 2 minutes. So there's not much we can do. I'm trying to build Sydney Street Crew in football world with you guys. So that's the only exciting thing so far. What about you,
That's
Pee Wee?
cool.
What have you been doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Same thing, man. Trying to create stuff, work on the projects, like you guys know, on the Shadow Players project. And yeah, we just, some of the guys actually, where they live, it's not that bad. So some of them, I'm not going to mention names so they won't get in trouble, but some of them are still playing.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they just don't post on social media, but like I think because they're cities that are very isolated. So some of them, it's not a big group. It's like 3v3, and they know each other. So it's some of them are still playing, and some of them are just trying to like very low key record. Record themselves. It's just a ghost town. So yeah, mainly for me personally, though, I'm just trying to create.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, you're a little bit frozen.
Gabriel froze me.
Now that you mentioned Shadow Players, Pee Wee, what's going on? Can you tell already the world what is happening there? What's about?
Yeah, I try to be as not to spoil things, but like Shadow Players is pretty much of the story about Edward and a couple of players that try to go through the system. Like they went through the clubs, they didn't make it. Now they went back to the streets. Pretty much instead of from the streets to the pitch, from the pitch to the streets.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the whole thing around it is that this player, he makes it pro. He's a big time, but because of his attitude, he gets kicked out, man, and he loses everything. Like everything, he had the model, he had the cars, he had everything, and just because of one action, he loses it all. So now he goes back to LA, and yeah, man, he finds this underground 1v1 fight club sort of thing that he tries to join to make money. So yeah, that's pretty much some of the story about that. Like
that's awesome, man. Yeah, will there be cameos for us?
No, yeah. I might be able to get this podcast, like the next one, on it. So whoever we got next, I'm gonna record that from another angle, and yeah, it should be fun.
That sounds like a whole project, man. That's cool.
Yeah, man. So right now, like I haven't even. I need to record myself because we're gonna do small docu-series, man. We're gonna do so we're gonna do small documentaries so we could start promoting. So by next Friday or before Friday, we will have something to share with the world, and we're gonna have an open
call.
Open call. Yeah.
Cool. Like, what type of documentaries are going to be? Like, the people could be interested to participate.
So it's gonna be the players that are auditioning for Shadow Players. So they're gonna record themselves like during this time, and like how they're practicing and all that stuff. Did you guys remember the movie This Is It by Michael Jackson?
I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
You have seen it?
Yeah. So basically, it's just like diaries of what you did to get there, and whatnot. Pretty much what we're doing today, just telling us about ourselves and whatnot.
That's awesome.
And it's going to be available worldwide, like everybody can participate. It have to be like in LA, or how is it going to work?
No, we're gonna do an open call for the world. So
if you don't put me in the show, man, I'm going to quit this podcast. I'm serious.
Cool.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm like, in that case, I could assure you that you are out.
Time to quit. I'm done. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, talking about hot projects, you were cooking something as well, right? Tell me, in Australia before the lockdown happened, what's going on?
Yeah, when the lockdown happened, we were all working through some really big things. Gabriel, you have something yourself too. The way things happened was we were working on a street football World Cup with a production company in Australia, and the virus hit. So all funding was pulled out and we had to cancel. And, that was going to be a national televised series about how street football is going to change the world and, how teams around the world are going to travel and play. But the virus came and the company lost a lot of money, so we can't make the series now. But, problems happen. So as an industry at street football, we're used to a lot of problems and we're used to really grinding. So it's not a problem. Something bigger will come. That's how things work. But right now I'm building other sides of Sydney Street Crew that aren't football related, as well as making more football at the same time. So it's hard times because of the virus, but everyone's going through hard times. And I think I have it pretty well. So I can't complain when others have more to complain about. So it sucks, but yeah, that's the problem. What about you, Gabriel? You had something big going. Are you able to talk about that or no?
Yeah, man. After 1 month crying in my bed, I think that I'm finally ready. But that could be a good headline for this podcast as well. Like how the coronavirus fucked us. So that's a good seller. Like, yeah, it's true. Basically, I was working in the EuroLeague of the street football, first EuroLeague organized by the Ghetto Games. So it has been a project working like for some time already, like maybe 6-7 months since the idea was coming. And just 5 days in advance before we actually Barcelona, we were the first date, the lockdown came. So all my work, like from this month, like I'm from all the guys that are part of that as well. Big hacks for everyone. I know that we all work and we all struggle and put the effort. Got canceled, but yeah, especially for me, like being the first day of the tour was like maybe a little extra pressure. Like it has to start like properly. I basically do everything myself. It was a big project, the biggest street football project has done until now. It was supposed to happen. So yeah, that was a very disappointing thing. I was running the underground as well. There was like a series of qualifier tournaments to take part of the EuroLeague. And the day before the third leg of the tournament, basically this shit happened. So I had all the teams, everything's figured out, the pitch, blah, blah, and got canceled. We were supposed to take part of a Nike campaign as well.
Oh God, that's the bad one. I think that one's worse. That's like,
yeah, bro. Yeah. That was pretty fucked up. Like, we got a very exciting news. We got a call from the Nike offices here in Barcelona that they want to consider more like the communities more than the stars, So instead of doing campaigns with professional footballers or something, they're gonna take us in consideration this summer to be the image of the new products of Nike.
That's so
cool. Yeah, we was fucking excited, bro. That was a big thing. So yeah, that was very disappointing as well, man. But well, I think that, as you said, there's big things going on in the world. People are suffering for real, and we don't have right to complain about these things. But we're talking about football here, and that's the true struggle that happens in this scene recently.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, and I feel
open
like
up with that.
it's legitimate, man. Like a lot of us have struggled a lot of years to get where we're at, and
Yeah,
these
that's true.
opportunities are gold, you know, especially for the communities. I think um, to inspire and to, how do you say it, nurture the culture, you know.
I mean, well, how long have we been doing this? Like, this is my 4th year. And, that opportunity was the biggest one I've ever had, and it's just gone. And Gabriel, how long were you at that before, like at street football, before you had that opportunity? How long have you been working on this?
Yeah, in Barcelona, I've been like 2 years and a half.
Yeah.
Like properly, like as a street football Barcelona, one year and a half. But in this project, yeah, almost 3 years. So yeah, 2020 in advance sounds very good, right? Like I
Yeah.
guess that we all have energy, like this thing is happening. And yeah, I feel it as well, Tommy. Like you told me about the project in advance of what's going on in Australia, and I was excited for you. And poof, that thing, screw it. But, yeah. How long are you in the scene, Pee-wee, by the way?
I don't even want to answer that question.
Yeah.
You guys remember the Droga Bonito?
You guys
It's
remember
like,
Maradona,
yeah,
those guys?
you, yeah, man. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
you're the older in the scene here.
Yeah, it's been too many years, I think, and they flew, to be honest, because you're doing what you love. And I started personally in 2000. I was beginning high school, so it was like 2002, 2001. That's where I got the interest. And but like for me, like many other things, it all started with Edward. When I met Edward, 2008, 2009. We met in a warehouse. We met in a warehouse playing 3v3s, and
Oh, wow.
for me,
That's
I feel
awesome.
like that was my start. You know,
Yeah,
so
where it
over
was, man? Where did you meet?
we met in a warehouse called Nicky Sports. It's a soccer related soccer shop right here in LA, and yeah, we met there, man. A company brought him over, and he was touring. You know, he was in Long Beach with the guys from Long Beach, and then he was near my hood. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's see what's up.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. Like, yeah, I think that Bola is a project that is going on like for longer. Maybe what what do you think that was the first street football crew? Bola is the ones of the OGs for sure.
Actually, before you answer that, bro, sorry. When I made Sydney Street Crew, I was looking at Bola stuff for at least a year. So that was most of my inspiration was Bola behind Sydney
What's
Street
that?
Crew. So this is just super cool. You guys were my inspiration along with Street Madness, Street Kings, and Vulcan Mix, who were in Berlin, but they don't exist anymore. But you guys were one of my inspirations. So that was super cool. Even that we're doing this now. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree as well. For me, Bola is something that I looked up, that I had in my mind before starting Barcelona. So yeah, you had been a reference, my G. Thanks for that, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, shit. Sorry, I don't know what to say.
You can cry, open your
Yeah,
feelings, man. Like
yeah,
just
like,
leave it,
like,
let it flow.
yeah, no, but you know, I think that was the whole purpose about starting Bola. To be honest, like with the guys is we have a motto we always say when we get something. We started off with nothing, everything else is extra.
Yeah,
And our goal hasn't changed, you know, to grow the sport and to do it with our friends. Pretty much, man.
But
And
sorry, Gabriel, but with Bola, did you have any intentions of turning it into a business that you could live off, or it was just something that came along the way?
to be honest, completely honest, no.
what's your vision for Bola?
take over the world.
But like, but that's a super interesting topic because in one hand we have like our passion, that is street football, but in the other hand, like we all want to live from our passion, by our passion as well. So
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of challenge. There's like this taboo, let's say, that when you make a business out of your passion, like maybe some people could criticize you or something like that. And
Mm,
also the big brands have that stereotype, like, I don't know, like you do it with your heart, but you have also to put the food on the table, right? So how to manage that
yes.
balance? What do you think on that?
To be honest, um, I mainly do it for the next generations. I want to create that platform that I didn't have growing up. You know, it was difficult to find people like myself in LA without traveling for miles, man, or just alone. Like I remember there was my friends now that are all grown up. I used to go every Sunday, like an hour away, to meet up so we could play street like we know it now. You know, like like a little bit of freestyle, a little bit of ground moves. So for me, that was my weekly high. You know, but like the topic about making it living off it, yeah, man, it's something we're starting to do now more than ever because the companies, man, they gave us that platform now. You know, I'm thankful for Nike and some other brands that have um how I say it, validated our scene, and I think you guys could both agree to that.
Oh yeah.
Now we have a little bit of more power, a little bit more voice, and yeah, man, it's been over 15 years.
Wow.
That's a long, that's a long run, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
basically, besides the Bola project, you think that how you make a living would be like with a platform that is a is an academy, is a football academy.
Yeah, I actually coach, and I go wherever they invite me. And you know that style of coaching we do is so different, man. And but now I've been checking out like Instagram a little bit more right here in LA, and a lot of people are are doing the same now, similar, but like it's not the same, but it's similar to what we do with our kids, and it's working, you know. And I'm proud to to have been one of the first to do that style. You know, you have to make the kids fall in love with the sport, and then everything else happens, man.
Can I ask? Do you have like? I know you train kids and that helps you make money and stuff like that, but do you have like a major goal apart from taking over the world, like a concrete step that you actually want to take with your crew? Like, I'll give you an example. For me, with my crew, I want to set up, functional areas like just say a building that we live in, we train in, we play in, and travel the world and play. Sponsors, stuff like that. Is that something you're along the lines of, or is it a bit different for you?
No, it's completely, man. Like for me, it's taking care of my community, but taking care of my guys first because we all come from the hoods, man. So if like I like what you said, everybody under one roof, man. Like my dream is just to have a huge ass house, have everybody there, and from there work. Like we're doing with like we're doing. We're doing podcasts. I want to do a magazine. I want to do
That's cool.
more apparel. I want this to be like to do what skateboarding did. And not for the money, but like just for the culture. It just needs to be done.
Yeah. Fair
Absolutely.
Of
enough.
course, the money.
What about you, Gabriel? What's your vision for street football, Barcelona? What's the
Yeah,
next
and
step?
yeah, Barcelona in that way is a different city. I think that in LA, the time that I went, I could perceive that people live there for a long time, and you manage to make your group of friends, and you grow. Like maybe I don't know, if you have suffered like very big changes with the Bola crew, for example, with the members, or you have like players for a long time. Because here in Barcelona, I'm telling you, in the last 1 year and a half, I almost have like 600 different players. So, So yeah, that's the thing. Like what I do in Barcelona, basically, I organize pickup games on Wednesdays and Sundays in the city center, and it's an open call. Barcelona is a super international city, so it's people from all over the world. Has been players from every single continent, almost 80 countries. So it has been like it's super diverse. So my challenge is to have a more stable crew, could be, because people come, lives here like for 6 months, a year, and then they leave.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my challenge. What I wanted to do, my dream is to make a team, all Street FC, like, and compete, like have a core team. That's my next step. Then I don't know where we can take it. I'm also a little bit grown, like Pee-wee. I have some years already. I think that you're the youngest, Tommy, from all of us.
Well,
Here.
I'm 23, so
Yeah, you're a
Add-
little baby, bro.
how old are you guys? I didn't actually ever ask that. Do you want to say it? Or?
Yeah, I'm 31, bro. I'm old
That's not
school
old.
as well.
That's not old, man.
I'm 34. I'm 34. I'm 33. I'll be 34 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest. It's actually
It's
great.
Yeah. We still have the swag, right? We we still have it. We still have it.
Yeah, man. But I think that's really interesting, Gabriel, that you say that, because it is hard to maintain one solid crew, you know. But over here, since we started a little earlier, the same people with the same, you know, I think Edward did that, man. To be honest, because like he put us all in one place, and from there it took off, you know.
I need to meet
Yeah.
Edward, man. I've always wanted to talk to him, man. And you guys both know him, so I need to talk to him. I feel left out.
Absolutely. Well, Edward has been, I have to say, like, let me find the word in English.
The
Tell me with the
Godfather.
word in, like, yeah, like he has been, he was a breaking point. Is breaking point the word? People, like when he came to Barcelona, things changed a
Yeah,
lot.
that still
Like,
works.
No,
Yeah,
I think
breaking
that's
point
the-
still works.
I'm gonna call it the Edward effect, man. Because when he
Yes.
steps into a city, he starts a little revolution, whether he knows it or not.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's crazy. And
Mm.
for me, it was a big honor as well to host his first game in Barcelona, because he have come here before, but he never have played before, because basically was no street footballer scene or anything. And when he came back, I already have built something. And also, again, Daniel Wood link us up, like, hey, Edward is going to Barcelona. And he came and we developed a super nice relation. He has supported me a lot personally. I'm very grateful with him. And the impact that has in Barcelona is like, that guy is priceless. And more than, as a player, I admire him a lot. I love his vision of the game. But as a person, he is even better. So that's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Tommy? Like, you also have suffered some changes in your crew. Tell us about Australia, man, because Australia, you are building a scene alone, bro. Basically, like you created in a whole continent yourself, and also before the street football Barcelona started as well. I have to say that street football, Sydney Street Crew was a big inspiration for me, because I was like,
Oh, wow.
super liking the image that you manage it. It looks competitive, aggressive, very well done.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's how it's supposed to be done. I think I told you, I read when I was traveling the world for some months, and I came back to Barcelona. It was January last year, and I started like doing my research as well to improve the crew and everything. I left in the hands of other person what I was building. The first article that pops out was about Sydney Street Crew.
That's awesome.
It was an interview with Tomislav. And this guy is badass. I hope to connect with him at some point. And then the universe aligned, and we're here now, bro.
That's crazy, isn't it, man? That's so crazy.
Yeah, you both has been a big inspiration for me. So yeah, tell the world how's Australia, man. It's a place. There's not two Australias in the world, man.
Yeah, well, we're in the bottom of the world, man. So there's not much going on here. we have so many different sports, but football's not very popular, a bit like America. You know, we have rugby, cricket, tennis. They're all more popular than football. And but then street football is a smaller, you know, niche section of the sport. So it's very hard to convince players to play street football. When I started, you know, 4 years ago, I started with a group of friends. You know, I begged Adidas and Nike to put me in tournaments, and they did. Actually, Nike called me like 3 months in. That was crazy.
Wow.
But it's very hard to keep a solid crew. That's one really hard thing because everyone thinks they're good enough to play professional football and make millions of dollars, you know, but that's not the case. You know, I do this out of love for the sport. I wanted to change Sydney, and for a while I really did. You know, we held tournaments, free entry. You know, there were prizes that I put my own money in. You know, we had 150 players at one stage, but then it all sort of fell apart for a while when football wasn't, the most popular thing. Some people tried to cause problems, but that's how business is. People want to knock you down every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Pee-wee, I know you've been through that, man. I've heard. But yeah, I've had my opportunities. I've filmed with, FIFA, EA, so EA Sports, some production companies. But as you grow, you get to do cooler and cooler things. And that's why we're all sort of now at the place where we can work with TV, which is the coolest thing out there. So I really hope we all get those opportunities back that we just lost. But yeah, it's cool that you read an article on me, man. I didn't think anyone did. I actually thought nobody knew who we were. So I was always a bit pissed off, Maybe that's why I look like I'm always angry, because I was always like, when are you going to include us in Europe or with Bola or any of that? So, but we're here now. So.
Did you know about Sydney Street Crew, Pee-wee, in advance or not? Be
Yes.
honest.
No. Yes. I when when you do hashtag street soccer,
Mm-hmm.
like you start seeing all these posts, and what caught my attention was all the graffiti and everything that you guys were posting, like and playing. And I was like, hold up, what is this? Like right away, it just caught my attention. Like, huh. And then I saw your logo. I'm like, damn, this is badass, man. And then I saw how you guys were playing rough. I'm like, okay, like you got my attention.
Yeah, we're a
But
bit rough over here, man. People thought we were a bit of a gang with our logo, so I had to fix it a bit. People worried we'd stab them or something, but no, we're just footballers. So yeah.
no, yeah, and from there on, also like I think I DM'd you guys. I don't know if you remember. I DM'd you like, how could we collaborate, or you told me how could we collaborate, and then
Yeah, I hit you up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
a few messages. We collaborated a little bit, not much, but
yeah, not much.
this is the best
But
collaboration
like
you could have
I
done.
think for me, I'm like, I think I asked you, I'm like, how could we collaborate? Like, like I didn't know how, because you guys were in Australia, and like, so this is how.
Yeah, this is how. And I've always
That's
wanted to
cool.
travel with my team to meet you guys, but it's very hard because a lot of my players are 18, 19, and they don't have the money, and people are lazy. I don't want to say your generation, that's just rude, but you guys 10 years older, just say 10 years older than me. In that 10 years, people got a lot lazier. So I'll be honest, you guys are really hardworking. People aren't really hardworking at my age. They just want to sit down and play video games and make money off of it. So any chance they have to not spend money and just stay at home, they will take. So it's very hard to travel to meet you guys and bring a team, which Gabriel, you experienced when I canceled really last minute on you once. I felt awful for quite a long time. I did, man, but that's shit.
Yeah,
What am I
that's
supposed
also
to do?
that's our story. How Tomislav fucked me up in front of some from organizers first time. Like this is a conversation that we were talking with people. Like we're very trustful guys. So we are we
Yeah,
are
no.
open. But that's a good topic to talk as well. Like it's nice to hear and to know that we are like with this disposition or with this instinct to admire other people instead of getting jealous or I gonna be better than them or something.
Yeah.
What we do is like we connect and we want to collaborate we don't know how. That's an interesting topic that we can develop in the future, like because it's like you just hit up something like how we can collaborate or let's link up, yeah, let's do something, blah, blah, but you don't have an idea. You basically almost never do anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the how to say in English. Sorry guys, I speak Spanish. I'm native Spanish speaker, so I'm doing an effort here. Well, people speak Spanish as well. There's the intention, and that's cool. I think that we could, like, I don't know, maybe do a podcast to talk like how you can create, elaborate, meaningful collaborations with other like segments of industries or other crews. It would be interesting to talk about that.
I think it is super interesting and super informative. Is that the word?
Yeah.
For people to know that, like I said before, like that are starting off, you know, there's another Gabriel, there's another Tommy, there's another me out there that is looking for guidance, you know. So I think what Edward has done with me and a lot of people is that he gives them the experience, you know, like, and he tries to consult and tell you, yo, this is how I did it, or I made this mistake and whatnot. So that's why, you know, my friendship with Edward is so valuable as well, because like I feel like he's like my big brother in this, you know.
Absolutely, man.
Can I ask, man? How did you get? Was Edward the reason that you were able to connect with all the players over in Europe? Because that's the hotbed of street football. Everyone over there. It started in Amsterdam and Paris, and I always wanted to be in that circle. But how did you get into that original circle where? Because it's very closed circle. I had to work 3 years to get somewhat even close.
Yeah, you don't. Let me answer that for you, bro. Like, the circle finds you, bro.
I'm not even gonna say anything. That's true, man. Like for me personally, there was some drama over here. You know, it was like the hip hop era, man, over here, where there was like the Tupacs, the Biggies, and all that stuff over here, and it was for a moment like I used to belong to, not belong. I used to work or help out another crew, you know, with some of the guys. Like it's been filtered in LA. Ebola is just 5 years old. But look, if I say I've been in the scene for 15 years or more, that's a long history, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, like for a moment, I was on my own with two guys, and we didn't have no brands, we didn't have anything. We were seeing other dudes get attention, and we're like, we just keep doing our thing, and then little by little, everything just kept coming, and yeah, like it's like you put in the work, everything else comes, man. It's like, especially when you do it like for good reasons. Is this like like Gabriel said, the circle finds you, and there's no, you know, you could try to force yourself in there, but like in the end, real recognize real, and the intentions, they could see the intentions, you know. So
absolutely.
so I feel that the circle is invisible, you know. It just, you see it when it's your turn to see it.
Fuck, bro, we're going super deep, and it's like super true as well. You don't see the circle; it's invisible. That is there. No, but it's the same for me, man. Like, and I think that is a good advice to everyone and to everything in life. That show, don't tell. You can approach people like talking or whatever, but your actions always speaks loud words, and that's. So for me, it was now just did work. I did what I had to do, and the things came. So yes, we share the same story in that sense with Peewee. Well, that's what I have to say about it.
Why, can I ask you something, Tommy?
Yep.
Like, what attracted you about that circle? Like, what did you see? Like, if I'm there, I'm gonna do this, or
To be honest, man, what I saw. Look, I'm from Australia. How many times am I going to say that in the middle of nowhere? But I didn't have anyone over there that was the same as what I did. So I didn't have any
yeah,
connections. I didn't feel I didn't feel a family with street football yet. I sort of felt on my own. And I always thought Bola was with Van Gils, Edward, because, he comes to LA quite often. And I know he links up with people overseas, and you guys did. So I was always a bit jealous in a good way, so I wanted to be
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I wanted that family type thing, and you guys seem to really have that. And over in Europe, it existed. So I wanted to feel a part of something, and I didn't until now, really. So it's pretty cool that I'm actually here. Which achieving a goal I always wanted, to be a part of something.
And can you say that the circle found you?
Well, I mean, I had to do as much as I could
Yeah,
to
I
make
know.
sure the circle could see me.
Exactly,
If that's the best way to say it.
That's cool, but you have put a lot of work, man, a lot of respect. Like, it's also a country where football is not popular, so you walk the walk, and that deserves a lot of respect. And City Street Crew, for me, is one of the coolest crews in the world. So that's awesome. Talking about that, did you change your logo because you were in that process, right? Or what happened
Yeah, have
at
you
the end?
seen it? I'll see if I can show it on the screen. Have you seen my new logo?
No, no, we haven't seen it.
Wait. I'll get it up.
We're having an announcement today. New logo.
I'm looking.
It
Wait. I'll find it.
commercial
It's nearly here.
commercial pause to advertise Sydney Street Crew.
Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Infomercial. You can get the Sydney
Yeah,
Street
I
socks
wanna say-
for only 10.
Nope. It went away.
Hey.
Wait, can you see it? Wait. It's
I
my
am.
Instagram. It's very hard to see.
Yeah.
See it,
I need
bro?
something that
No, I
didn't.
see it.
It looks cool, bro. Yeah.
It looks a lot better on Instagram. So have a look on Instagram. So.
Okay, that's a good topic. Let's talk about your logo, man. Like, who did it? What it inspired, or what are you trying to say with your logo? 'Cause it looks like some gangster shit like that.
Yeah, because he was talking like, oh, our first logo was look like
This one looks bloodier.
so we had to change it, and he changed for one even worse. Like more badass. That looks good, I like it, but
No, it
this
looks
looks
dope.
more hardcore in my opinion.
Good. I like that. But at least, okay. My original logo was created by my sister's ex-boyfriend, and he charged me. He did it for free, and it was an awful logo. So I'm glad I didn't pay for it. And we had that for about a year, and it didn't look very street football until I found a designer through a friend who wanted to make us a logo for a very cheap fee, which was the skull logo that you guys saw that looked, like a game.
Cool.
I eventually got bored with it, and I was like, screw it, I'll change the logo to the one you just saw. So it's all just, I felt like this matches more. It looks better for football. That was the only reason. And they're pretty expensive, to be honest, but it's worth it if you really want something and you feel better. So I thought it looked cooler. That's the only reason I got a new logo. It just looks
No,
cool.
man,
I
it
like
looks dope.
I would like to see the three logos actually, like the evolution. The first one I never saw it, so that would be nice to see it.
It's on. Yeah, I'll show you. It's on our Instagram. Our first post ever was our first logo.
Okay, let's see it out.
Yeah, it's coming. My internet's very slow, so.
No worries.
Oh man, I don't really want to show you this, but it's really bad. Wait a minute. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That's what it
I
used
haven't
to look
seen
like.
it, man.
Yeah.
For me, it's not that bad, right? Like it's
It's okay.
Yeah.
I like it more now. So, it's cool to have a nice logo. You've updated your logo
Yeah, it
recently.
looks like the logo of a team or something.
Sorry, you broke.
Me or Pee-wee?
No, you've changed your logo recently too, haven't you?
I'm in that decision, bro. Like we have a new design for Street Football Barcelona. I don't know if I should call that a logo.
Okay.
The idea is that it's a logo, and actually it's super professional. It looks crazy, man. but I'm a little bit attached for the first logo. I did it myself.
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
a designer. I'm not a designer or anything, but it's funny, man. Like when you want something, you turn very resourceful. Let's say. It's funny. Like I got a last presentation that was for this meeting with a brand, big brand. Was my logo next to them. I was like, oh my god, they paid like in a presentation that they did. Like that logo maybe cost like $1 billion, and mine I did it in PowerPoint, and we are next to each other.
but
Yeah,
that's
that's cool.
But when through street football, you've learned how to do things all yourself, haven't you? You actually have to learn a lot. You know, you don't pay people; you just fucking do it. Have you?
Yeah, I don't have budget to pay to anyone or anything. So when I want something done, I open my Illustrator. That I have to be honest, it's PowerPoint, guys. But it's, I don't know. Like you develop some taste on art or whatever. The tool is a little bit the less thing that you have to care. It's more about the vision and what you want to express. So I think that's your thought, Pee-wee, about the Bola logo. You did it yourself for sure.
Yeah, man, it's very simple, man. Like, I went through some logos that I drew and stuff. Like, I I will show you, but I'm on the phone. But they were pretty much drawn on the phone with my finger.
Wow.
But
I mean,
but
your
you draw,
logo's very
right?
clean. So
A little bit, man. I'm not an artist, but like I, it's really hard to try to tell somebody how to do something that you want because it's in your head. So when if you're not an artist, it's very hard, you know.
yeah,
But that's why I have what I have now, and because it was simple and it described the movement, you know. Uh, it's very simple. My logo is very simple, and I think like you said, like it was crazy when some you just get this font, put it put it on paper, man, and then you have brands using it and stuff like that. Is crazy. It was like okay, like
yeah.
it's just eye opening. Like when they send you
Well,
emails and stuff like that, and they have your logo. I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
damn, okay.
that's
Bro,
cool. Like
where was the first place you saw your logo and you really stood back and went, wow? Where was the first time you saw that?
Um, I saw it. They were having a tournament for Day of the Dead over here, Dia de los Muertos tournament,
Uh-huh.
and they have a good amount of crews. They had their logos, you know,
Mhm.
and I think that was the first time I saw it printed somewhere that it mattered, you know.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, man, that was crazy, you know. Like there was like over 600 players that day right there,
Wow.
and it was crazy that. And there's a whole video about it, but it was just crazy to see what you work for up there, you know. And I think that's something that is priceless.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really good feeling. Not many people have it because people aren't like ourselves where they've started something from scratch, done it themselves through all the problems and hardships, and they see their logo is actually somewhere that means something. It's an amazing feeling. I'll never forget. The first time I saw that, Nike flew us down for a tournament. And, you know, we made the final and our logo was next to the national futsal team, you know, blew away my mind, man. You know, we're playing the national team. Like we got smashed. We lost 10-0, but that doesn't matter. I remember, you know, a few weeks later, it really sunk in. Our logo was put there versing the team that just came back from a World Cup. So, you know, that's a moment for me too. So it's funny
bro,
when you get those moments.
I think that you have to say it again because for
Ah,
me the audio was like totally
From
fucked up
yeah,
for
for
did
me
you
too.
too?
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, okay. For me, the moment I saw my logo, have you heard this part or none of this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
with
Well,
the futsal team, right?
sorry, what was that?
No, say it again, like
Say it
the
again, yeah.
part. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the moment I saw my logo that meant something to me is when we played the national futsal team. And you see your logo there next to the biggest team, the best futsal team in the country. And we'd been in existence for 3 months. So it was just, it set in a few weeks later that, wait a minute, that's the national futsal team. And here's us. Like, that's very different. How the fuck did we get there in 3 months? So we all have those moments. Like, you saw your logo and then another $1 billion logo next to yours, Gabriel, and you saw your logo at a 600-person tournament. We've all had those moments. So it's just crazy to hear we've actually all had very similar experiences seeing our logos and just stepping back and saying, wow, Please tell me
Yeah,
you
that's a
heard
cool.
that.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. Like I got from a friend. Well, he became a friend actually. He came with Edward the first time that we played, and he sent me a picture that was my logo in a TV or something like that. And
Wow.
he said, "Hey, where's that?" So, I'm in the Nike offices. I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool." And then after some weeks, I went to the Nike offices and I enter, and in the main room there's a screen with videos on looping. And I was sitting in the couch, and then I saw myself there in the screen. And the first tournament I did, and the Street Football Barcelona logo at the end with the Nike one in the offices. I was like, "Oh shit, that's fucking
Wow.
awesome!" Yeah, it was a video that I edited myself. I sent to them just for them to have it, but they put it on the screens on repeat, and that's pretty cool. And since then, every time I go to the offices, there's another video of Street Football Barcelona rotating there. So yeah, I always take a minute to, man,
Take it in.
yeah, I take a minute to think. Like, I remember that day when I opened that PowerPoint. Like, I'm going to do this, and I write down the story what's going to be about and how it's going to be. And now we're here. That's pretty cool. Talking about like logos and being with brands. Tommy, with what brands do you relate in Australia? I know that you're with Red Bull. You have been with EA Sports.
Yeah.
With Nike as well, Adidas. What else? Tell us
I've
what's your
worked
relation.
We've all worked with a lot of brands, but the brands that really set apart, it's crazy. We've all worked with Nike. I think that's the craziest thing because Nike gave me that chance to really jump up. They threw all this brand gear at me, and I was just this 18-year-old kid. Like, why would you throw it at me? But they helped you out too, Gabriel and Pee Wee. They've helped you out too. So why is it Nike? Like, I mean, Adidas does street football too, not very well, but I think Nike. Why does Nike like what we do? I wish they gave us more money, or some money would be great. In Australia, they don't pay us, obviously.
Take note of that, guys.
Yeah.
Listen, we are grateful, but guys, we need some other support.
We need to live.
Yeah.
What do you think? We are like the oldest guy with a relation with Nike. Like, let's talk about it. Why Nike? That's a good headline.
Wow.
Why
Yeah.
Nike?
Yeah, that's another part of the episode. Why Nike? I feel like Nike has been in the scene, whether they like it or not, for a long time. They have, especially by the players they sign, like none other than Ronaldinho. It's just he's magic. I think he's what made. He was freestyling and playing street on the pitch. I think he's the original guy from the streets to the pitch, man. Like
Absolutely.
he took it there, and the world saw, and the world saw what he was wearing. And Gabriel in your town, man, Barcelona, like he made a big impact there with the brand, and I feel like it's just a ripple effect from there. I think other brands have tried to do it, but they have failed because I think people like ourselves are attracted to what makes sense to us more, less financial sense, but more of a, how you say it, a cultural sense. And I feel that's why Nike, because it was embedded in me, you know, like how they were doing these tournaments, man. Before a lot of brands were doing it, like street tournaments, and they were doing something for the scene, you know, that I had never seen before. Maybe there has been, maybe they're not, but they're the ones who took it to a different level with Joga Bonito.
And how did they reach out?
Just-
Like, how did they get in touch with you?
Oh, well, you know, I was there with them since I was a kid, you know. I was around the original Nike squad right here in LA. And, you know, I was just that kid that loved the sport. I would travel on the bus and whatnot to go meet up with these people, you know, and you know, they grew up. Some of them have their own agencies. Actually, they do stuff with Nike, and then some coach, some left LA, they went to Hawaii, but what stayed was the impact they had in me. You get me? So I decided to continue. You know, they gave me the invisible torch. You know,
Mm.
like what seemed like pickup once a week, for me it was my I don't want to be blasphemous, but it was like my temple. It was my church,
Yeah.
you know. So long story short, these guys, his name is Tim Donnelly. He started doing more and more projects with Nike, you know. And I remember we were sitting on the sidelines. We were talking about this, what we wanted to do, and I told him I was a little bit into computers and stuff, and he was telling me the same. He liked to be creative. And then fast forward, what, 7 8 years, he has his own agency and creating big projects with Nike and street football. So I think that's how I was introduced. You know, he saw that I was still doing um, what I was doing with street football, and it was just natural, man. It was a natural transition. Like, it was still a shock, you know, because you only dream about these things, you know.
Oh yeah.
And then boom, meetings, going to the office. I flew to Portland, man. I'll tell this story
Wow.
real quick.
Oh, that's cool.
I flew to Portland in the first year of Nike Street Soccer X, and they hadn't even made a presentation, I think, for the whole Nike soccer. How do you say it? Um,
Wait,
department, the whole Nike soccer department. Sorry.
wait.
Hear me, Gabriel?
I think that you repeat that part because I listened like the boing in the audio. I don't know if you listen that as well. Tell me, love.
I heard it, but I wouldn't mind hearing it again because it was a good story anyway.
So which one? Sorry.
Yeah, no, just the Portland, just from the Portland one. Yeah.
So I was in Portland by accident. I decided to go up there to just vacation with my ex and her cousin. And I was up there, man, and I get a call from my friend Ro Vega. He was in one of the big guys in the Nike department, and one of the big heads of this campaign, actually. And he hit me up. Hey, Pee Wee, I know you're in town. Like, I don't wanna like get you away from your vacation. Like, would you mind to come and talk talk to I'm gonna do a presentation on what we're doing on Nike. Is like the first presentation they have done with Nike Soccer X, and they were saying what they were doing in LA. Would you like to come talk about it? I was like, dude, when he told me that, I was like he was texting me that, sorry, and I was like, I was thinking about it, like, dude, like, I don't like public speaking, you know. Like, in college, I had to take it twice because I didn't like to go up there and present, you know, a speech. And then I was thinking, you know, my motivation has always been the same. I'm like, this is good for the crew, this is good for my guys, and this is good for the scene. So I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
Were you nervous?
Oh hell yeah, man! There's pictures, there's videos, and of like I was sweating, man. In Portland is cold, you know. But but long story short, I go to meet up with Rome. He picks me up in his car outside the headquarters, and then we drive in, and they were having a transition, moving from offices. So I get in there, I was like, you know, my legs were feeling numb. I was like,
Oh shit!
and I was like walking. I was like, fuck, what am I doing? And so yeah, they make you check in. You take a picture. You put a sticker, put it in your chest, and then boom. I walk into a room, man. Everybody's there. The people that sign the players, the people that design the boots, the people that design everything that has to do with Nike soccer was there. The main guys. This is global. This is like the ones that tell the other people what to do. Like it was crazy. And then I sit all the way in the back, you know, with another person. Her name is Jax. I met her also in LA, and it was funny because I pointed her. I didn't know who she was, and I pointed her, and that's how we met. And she was one of the main persons, and still is one of the main persons in Nike right now. And people like, I'll never forget it. And so each time, like when we do an event, like I have the ball on my feet, she like closes her legs right away. But long story short, yeah, man. So, you know, I'm seeing the presentation. There's a video about it. I'll try to find it so I can send it to you guys. There's a presentation. My guy Rose doing the presentation, and then I see every slide go through. I was like, damn, it's almost time. I was like, and then and then he posted my picture in a big ass projector. I was like, oh my.
That's awesome.
So like, and now he's like, you know, so now we have a special guest from LA. His name is Cesar Ambula, aka Pee Wee. And then, dude, I just walking for it, and I just feel like I'm like surrounded by lions. You know, that's how I felt like, you know. And I'm just walking and walking like shit. And then he starts asking me questions, and yeah, man, I went like, how can I say this? I didn't see anybody in there when I was talking. It was just crazy, and I was sweating. I remember sweating a lot, and I was like, damn, like I'm speaking in front of everybody. I'm like, and I hate speaking in front of people, like that, you know. And yeah, man, that's how it was with me with my first experience with Nike, man. It's like going up there in front of all of them and talking about what we did, and I'm like, and I remember like I was even telling them why why other countries are so successful in soccer, and like I went off, man. So like I'm like, damn, like I feel like I gave them a lecture, you know.
Well, they probably need it.
No, yeah, and then
you know,
and then like when I was done, I was like, these people started clapping. I was like, what the hell? And then I just walked all the way back where I was sitting, and they had champagne and orange juice, so I made myself a mimosa.
You ended up drunk talking about football. Like, yeah, you know, I love football.
No, and then
how you handle the champagne?
Yeah, and then they started posting like stuff I shouldn't be seeing, like the new Neymar shoes and all that stuff, and I was like, whoa.
Wow.
That's cool. When was it, man?
You know those shoes that Neymar wore? They were like black and white with the lines, like a bunch of lines.
Was this when he was playing in Barca, right?
Yeah, when he was playing
Hypervenoms, right?
Huh?
The Hypervenoms, you know, the boots we're talking about?
Yeah, they were the
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, it was those boots, and I was like, damn, they look dope. But you know, obviously, I couldn't say anything. Like my phone, I just tried to record a little bit of what I was seeing, you know, just for history.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily, yeah, man, it was one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest. Especially going from some kid in the streets, you know, like dreaming of somebody to like you, like to look at us and help us out, to being in front of the whole Nike department and telling them what I did, and it was a good opportunity, and I'm very thankful for that, and that is why I still have a lot of faith in what I do and what Nike is doing, and I feel like we just need to get back on the horse, man. I think there's a lot of potential, and the streets are just waiting to have that opportunity.
That's awesome. What about you, Tomislav? How is your story with Nike?
Mine is nowhere near as interesting. Like that was a really good story. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Basically, I entered Tango League. We did really well. And Nike emailed me saying, do you have a sponsorship or a deal with Adidas? I said, no. And they said, give me your number. I want to call you. And I went, oh, shit. Okay. I looked, he said, he was the manager of the brand manager for the whole continent. I went, oh, fuck. So I hopped in the car and drove around for 2 hours because I was that nervous until he called. And then I went, fuck. He said, oh, we're going to invite you to a huge tournament and we're going to fly you there on a private jet. And I went, oh, shit.
What?
They flew me there on a private jet, and that's the first time I met Nike, and we came second at that tournament. We even versed the Nike Academy when they existed, and we beat them 4-1. So I'll never forget that. It's just crazy. I think before you tell your story, Gabriel, because I want to hear yours too.
Yeah, I want to hear it too.
I think the next thing Nike needs is for us three and Edward to all be in Portland and sit down with Nike global headquarters and tell them what's real, because they need people like us. And plus, I think we speak for a lot more people than just ourselves. We speak for the three of the biggest continents on the planet, or maybe. Yeah, I'll say I'm from Asia, may as well. But I think
you don't look very Chinese, bad.
It's because it's 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning over there.
But we need to be there. We need to speak to Nike, us together, all at once. I want us all to be there in person. So, Pee-wee, can you talk to Nike for us in Portland and say this is what we need? Because
it would be nice to go to the US, bro. Let's go to the US.
I think we should talk to our representatives in our countries and have them in one email and be like, yo guys, this is what we're doing and this is what we want to do. This is where we want to take it. We want to sit down.
Can we do that? That's a great idea.
It's a great idea, actually. Yeah, that's cool.
I think we show them what we're doing in our countries and what Edward has done, that would be the cherry on top. And we talk to our representatives and be like, yo, we link all of them in one email, CC all of us and be like, boom, this is the bomb. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. This is where we're going to take it. And this is why us.
And we want to sit down in Portland and we want you to fly us there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a beach in Portland, man, or not?
No, there's no beach. No. There's no sun. There's no sun in Portland.
Actually,
good luck, guys. Have fun. Have fun in Portland. I'm good in Barcelona, but
no.
Let's go. So,
actually, I haven't spoken to Nike in about 6 months. Because we did that photo shoot and video shoot with FIFA for New Volta, and for half of the shoot, I'm wearing Adidas gear. So they haven't spoken to me since, but it's for EA Sports and they have a deal with Adidas. So I can't just wear Nike gear. So that's all right. They'll be fine. But Gabriel, what was your meeting with Nike like?
I have nice stories with Nike as well. I have one similar as Pee-wee. That was the last one as well. I was in Russia. I was recording a video clip. I played drums, and a friend that works in Nike called me like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Man, I'm in Moscow. We need you in Barcelona next week. We're having a meeting of the global team of Nike. And I'm flying Edward, and I want you to take part of the presentation for street football with Edward with the Nike global team." I was like, "Oh shit, man, that's awesome." that was a thing, man. Like going to talk with Edward to all the global team of Nike meeting in Barcelona. That was cool. Was then, if I have to come back before my first, well, that was the last one. Then I'm gonna start with the first one, and I'm gonna link it up together. Edward came to Barcelona to have like a Q&A in Nike offices. Basically, one of the main offices of Nike is in Barcelona. And in this Q&A, he mentioned Street Football Barcelona. He mentioned me. And the guy that works in Nike in the influencers marketing, his name is Pelayo. All of a sudden, I got a message on Instagram like, hey, how are you? I work in Nike. I would like to talk with you. Would you like to come to the offices to talk about what you're doing? And man, that was a blast, because when I sat that week that I sat and I read an article about you, Tomislav, I was thinking what I want to do and everything. I wrote it down. I'm gonna connect with everybody in the scene. I'm gonna connect with the biggest brand in the scene. And the things happen in 1 month, bro. So people take a pen and a notebook, because there's power in that. And I was in the Nike offices with the guy from football, with the guy of influencers marketing. They told me, cool, what you're doing, let's start to meet each other and see what we can do together. And I sent a calendar of events that I was thinking to do. And they told me, okay, cool, let's have this first tournament that is called Winners Never Quit. Let's do it together. Let's just play football together. There's nothing like branding or anything. Just go to the Nike box. There is a Nike shop in the beach in Barcelona. Let's watch the final of the European Champions League of futsal, something like that. It was that day, as I remember, it was May last year. So we did the tournament. I played with the Nike team, the people that works there, and with our players, and was good vibes from the beginning. We didn't talk about business or doing things. We're just like, hey, let's meet each other. And we met each other, was good things. Then I proposed, hey, I have an idea of a tournament called Street Roots, because I've been invited to represent Spain in the Euro League in Rome. That's where I met like Niall and the other guys from the street football community, was the Ghetto Game guys. Basically, I met everyone of the scene in that tournament in Rome last year. Mm-hmm. So with Nike, we did a tournament together that the winner goes to Rome. And they did an open call in the city for teams to come. It was the first time that we mixed like our crew with the whole Barcelona. And the crew won the tournament, and we went to Rome. That was the prize. And their relations started developing to very nice way. I'm very grateful with Nike as well. They have been very open. The last tournament we compete was in the Ronaldinho one, the secret tournament in Amsterdam. We met in person with Pio as well. They got us the tickets to fly there, gave us a lot of support. So the brand has been pretty cool. We have constant contact as well to develop, hey, let's do this, let's try these new shoes, let's do this tournament, this is coming up. So we're like good friends nowadays. So that's pretty cool. Also, I have like a story that my background with Adidas, I've been working with the brand for 10 years, but Adidas Originals actually, because of music. Yeah. It has been an interesting situation that we can talk in the next episodes about that, like how to deal with brands and stuff. But pretty much it about Nike. Basically, we do tournaments. We have like a good relation going on. Was thanks to Edward, actually. He did the link. So thanks, my man.
In the next episode, we will have Edward Gills.
I think we've actually spoken for an hour and a half, so I think that was a good episode for sure. I think we should definitely finish it here.
Yeah, yeah, man. We have a lot of things to talk about. Like, we can finish it here. It was awesome, bro. I enjoyed a lot. I don't know how you felt.
That's awesome. You know what? I think we just say we'll stay on the call and talk a bit for a few minutes after, but let's just like log out. Who wants to say that it's over? Because then I'll stop recording. So
Okay.
Dale, Gabriel.
Well, this has been our first episode. We have covered a lot of topics. It has been a pleasure to share with Tomislav and Pee-wee. And there's a lot of things that are on the table that we will keep discussing. We will have our first guests, secret surprise guests, to the next episode. So stay tuned. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you want someone or something to talk about, or if you want to be part of the podcast, this is like open for everyone in the scene that wants to come and talk. We will be glad to hear from you guys. Some last words, Tomislav and Pee-wee?
thanks for tuning in and goodbye.
See you in the next one.
Easy.
Bye. Bye.